Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So continuing to work into the garden wall, more flowers and more wall. Yeah, closing in on 10% done here. I'm now fully back to my normal way of sloping my work. Yeah, I said I would convert it back, and I have. Yeah, so we had a ton of rain, but unfortunately the sky is still hazy. I think that's going to be here to stay for a while. Yeah, not much we can do about it. So yeah, I said 10% by end of the month. We should have no problem reaching that. I think 10% will be 30,700 approximately. And so that's, yeah, like 1,400 stitches from where I am right now. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I'm going to tie this one off. So yeah, I moved my frame again yesterday. So I think I put update picture on my Insta. Want to check that out? Yeah, it's coming along nicely. Yeah, we're kind of moving out of flowers and into wall here, so there's not very many threads apart. I'm probably going to have to add several this session, I would think. Yeah, at least we're getting some sun out there, but it's not supposed to be too hot today, so. Let me see, 38, 35. Yeah, I have pretty much a full working tray now because I got lots of colors to work on here with these flowers. But that's all right. I'm glad to have something interesting to stitch. Actually, I'm gonna stitch a bit up here. I think, yeah. I think I can kind of go, yeah, sort of where this thread is parked and then fill this all in. So like I say, I don't always follow the diagonal completely. Wow. I think that way I'm less likely to have lines in my work. I haven't had that problem, but you never know. Yeah, so kiddo will be done with exams pretty soon. Done with the school year, so then I'll have more background noise in my videos for some of them. Yeah, I like to film when I have the house to myself, but you know, can't always have that when you live with 2 other people. Oh man, yeah. Going back to see the doctor today because my ear is still not back to normal. Finished all my antibiotics, but it still feels clogged, and now it's got a buzzing sound for the last few days, so that's been real fun. Oh my gosh. Losing my mind. Ugh. Yeah, I was hoping it would go away, but no, it's not, so hopefully something can be done, because yeah, it's not fun. Like, I've had high-pitched tinnitus for years, and I've learned to ignore it, but this is not as easy, because like I said, my ear feels full, so it feels like the whole thing's throbbing, and yeah, it's not good. It's like Morse code going off in there. Oh, driving me totally mad. Oh, okay, let's see. So yeah, like I said, we'll be adding some new colors. Yeah, this should be an interesting section because, yeah, we just have a bit of wall here and then we're back into flowers and leaves again further down, so. Yeah, so I realized I said how the new season of Outlander is coming out. I actually have not read the latest book. I've read books 1 through 8. I haven't read book 9 yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna bother. From about book 5, really, I started to have a harder time getting through them. And yeah, the last couple of them, 7 and 8, were a real slog for me, so. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna bother reading it or not. I'm not gonna pay full price, I know that much. Yeah. I've sort of been waiting till I find them at a library book sale or a thrift store or something. That's where I found my last few, yeah. Because otherwise I'd have to pay like $15 for the Kindle. Although I don't really read physical books as much anymore. Yeah, I never thought I'd be someone who was into the ebooks, but being able to make that font bigger is so nice, and having definitions right there when you touch a word is really nice too. I actually, once I'd done that for a while, I was reading a paper book and I went to press on a word to see what the definition was, and I was like, oh, duh. It's paper. It's not going to happen, you know, but yeah, somebody said same thing. They were drawing something and they screwed up and they went looking for the undo button, and it's like, you're using a pencil and paper. There's no such thing. We get so used to the technology. Or somebody said after using Pattern Keeper for a while, they were stitching from a paper pattern and they started like trying to zoom in. And I was like, oh yeah, you can't do that. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, I was telling my husband sort of when I read book 8, I said, you know, it's like a 1,000-page book. And I felt like I could have summed it up in like a paragraph. So all the important parts. So yeah, kind of got burned out a bit. The first 3 books were really, really good. And then I found after that they started to drag a bit. Well, I did read that she wrote the first book just for fun, didn't really expect anything to come of it. And then, yeah, it got passed to a editor, and that's how things took off. And then they gave her, originally was like a 3-book deal. And then, yeah, after that, it just sort of kept growing from there. But I think you can tell the first 3 books, the pacing is really consistent. And then after that, it starts to get slower. So, yeah, I've been enjoying the TV show because it keeps the storyline moving along. And they have been pretty faithful so far. Like I said, this is finally the first time it's going to be moving into, I think, books I haven't read yet. Because, yeah, she hasn't written book 10, and they do say that's supposed to be the end. So, but supposedly the ending has changed sometimes too since she started writing, so who knows, right? Yeah. Oh, I guess that's what happens when they start adapting a book series that hasn't been completed yet. Yeah, things can diverge. Although I said I do love this age of TV where they're not trying to squash things into a movie format anymore. Because, yeah, you have to sacrifice so much when it's a big book series. Okay, 152. Yeah, I'm betting by next stitching session we will be at 10% completed. Oh my goodness. Trim my nails, so I'm having a hard time grabbing just one needle out of the stack of needles. Ooh. So yeah, because my diagonal's not perfectly diagonal, I end up sometimes working across a couple columns at once, if it makes sense too. I sort of go as far to the right as I can without going outside of that diagonal, and then, yeah, fill things in before I go to the top and start all over again. Okay, 6, 4, 7. Yeah, it's amazing though how much just one day of rain makes our grass perk up so much. It'll look all brown and dry, and then we have one day of rain and it's all green and lush the next day. Oh, that's not the right color. Nope. I went into the wrong color in my working tray there. Good thing I caught that. Yeah, that color was more green than the light gray. And as it's not just a few confetti stitches, it would have been quite noticeable, I think, if I got the wrong one. Occasionally, if it's a stitch or two of the wrong but very similar color and it's not in a focal point, I'll leave it. But yeah, this is a whole bunch, so if I did it wrong, I'd be doing a lot of ripping and cursing. Okay, so yeah, pretty soon I'm gonna set these ones aside. Yeah, so when a color kind of straddles the diagonal line where I've decided to make the break, I just kind of stitch half of it, park it, and leave the other half for later, rather than going out of the line there. So yeah, because I try to go as far to the right as I can without going out of line, that right-hand edge can end up looking a lot more straight than diagonal. Just depends on how the colors work out. I think this one is threaded still. We'll see. Yeah, okay. So I will do the couple more stitches that are right along this edge here. And then, yeah, there we go. I think I unthreaded this one. Yeah. I could have left it threaded and done a couple more, but oh well. slightly, yeah, slightly short of the, slightly short of the mark there. There. Probably no one would have noticed but me, but oh well. Yeah, so my husband's coming home today. Yay! Yeah, it's a longer trip than planned because of all the road closures due to the fires. He said he has to go back to the site again in a few weeks, but thankfully this time he can just fly. Yeah. He won't have to take any equipment with him this time, or that time, so yeah. See if I can. Shorter ones can be harder to. It's not going to happen. So at that point, it was more trouble to try to tease that out with the needle still on than to just unthread it and rethread it. Hopefully that sound of the neighbor cutting the grass isn't too loud for y'all. Okay. Just in my living room. It's not like I have any kind of studio to work in, so. Okay, so let's see. What do I want to do here? I think I may, yeah, head back over to the left and work out again, as I usually do. So like I said, I don't work in rows, just kind of roughly from growing from that left side outwards. Okay, as you can see, we are going to end up with a whole ton of new colors being attached here. Okay, and I think this was a short one. Yes, that's why I chose to park it down there, knowing I want a longer one for the stitches up here. not sure what color I'm going to choose to frame this one when it's time for finishing. I always take my project to the fabric store and yeah, find whatever works for it. Sometimes I have a color in mind, but sometimes I have no idea, and it's just sort of what looks good. 38, 37, yeah, when I finished the Oriental Triptych, I wasn't sure what I was going to use for the outside. I ended up getting a brown that kind of matched the brown framing that was stitched around it. Oh dear. It's no good. Oh my gosh. I don't know how it manages to do that. Oh dear. I was trying to pull one out here and then it gets tangled in on itself. I don't know how. I mean, I didn't tie a knot in it as I was pulling. Not that I know of, but yeah, look at that. It ends up kind of going all through itself. I don't know why. Yeah, sometimes if I pull a strand that I'm trying to remove out a little too fast, I don't know, but that seems to happen. Let's see if we can get this to release or not. No, you're going to be a big pain in the behind, aren't you? Yeah, it almost seems like untying this actually makes it knot up worse. I don't know why. Okay. Let's see if I can pick that out. Using a tool. There we go. Yeah, so untying it kind of made that single strand tie around it. It's, I don't know, weird, but hey, I think we got it. Excellent, because yeah, sometimes when it knots up at the bottom like that, you end up having to cut that whole bottom 2 or 3 inches off, which is really irritating because I do not like wasting thread like that, that's for sure. Oh, is something done wrong here? Oh, yeah, I think, what did I do? Oh, you know what I did? I didn't look at my grid lines closely enough. Okay. Did you notice? Were you trying to warn me? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, silly me. And this, again, is why I grid, because it is so easy for me to do that, what I just did. Yeah, because this whole edge just gets kind of long, and I just, yeah, if I'm not paying attention to those grid lines, this is what I end up doing. Okay, because I did a loop start right there, undoing it is really tough. So I am going to very carefully use my seam ripper to just remove this one stitch. Okay, hang on a sec. There. A little easier than trying to snip at it with scissors and not cut the wrong thread there. Okay. Just want to come from this side, so I guess we'll remove it that way. Okay, try this again. Which means this piece here will end up being a bit shorter that I'm attaching, but oh well. I think it will still be enough. Yeah, and that would have been really wrong because there are definitely no purpley ones up here, so there's definitely no faking it that way. Okay, so let's make sure we pay attention here. Yes, 10, 20, 30, line 40. Okay, oh, but did I park something wrong here? Let me take a look. Yeah, I think I did. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, I'm almost wrong again. Yeah, my goodness. I didn't park it wrong. I was trying to stitch in the wrong place. My gosh. Yeah, I almost did it wrong all over again. Oh, wouldn't that have been embarrassing? Oh my goodness. again, this is another reason why I prefer to stitch with parking, because I work out without leaving gaps. If I make a mistake like that, I usually catch it right away, like I just did. When I went to put the next color in, I realized something was not matching. So yeah, I was able to catch that before otherwise, if I was doing like I used to, where I stitched pretty much all one color at a time on a page, I could not catch that sometimes for weeks, and then later be left going, wondering what on earth I had even done. This way, because I did it only a minute ago, I was able to figure out where I went wrong quite quickly. So yeah, I always say this helps cut down on the number of mistakes I make, because I am still going to make mistakes. There's just no getting around that. Okay. Oh, I thought I'd packed that color away. Yeah, because that was mostly on the sky, but I guess I haven't. It's still in my tray here. Probably pack it away pretty soon and replace it with a different color that's going to be used more, but in fact, I might even after I do this one stitch, yeah, because it's going to be a fair bit till I get to another. Yeah, this color's still used a lot in this pattern, but not in this area of the pattern, so I say my working tray does not have as many slots as I have colors, so I have to prioritize which colors I have out. Okay, there we are. Oh, another single stitch. Yeah, so like I said, luckily our heat wave's over, so I get my car back. Yeah, kiddo's back to taking his own. The ruler I use to keep my Q-snap from rolling is sort of right here. So yeah, it's kind of a balance of trying to get my work as close to the left-hand side as possible so that it's easier to work on without getting it to be in the way of that ruler. Oh yeah, we are going to do a lot of color switching confetti here, so this is gonna slow things down, but hopefully be interesting for you. Oh, look at that. What have I done here? Oh, I'm missing a stitch. Oh, for Pete's sakes, I tell you. I put that in the wrong place too, didn't I? Yeah, it should have gone here. My gosh, I tell you, today I am just... Ugh. Yeah, I am not firing on all cylinders here. Oh my gosh. What, again, I did not look closely enough at my grid lines. My gosh. I tell you, last session I was plagued by knots, and today I seem to be plagued by counting errors. Let us try that again. But again, because I was going to work right next to it, I discovered right away it did not match, because the spot above the stitch I was about to do should have been filled in, and it wasn't, so. Blame it on this buzzing in my ears. Making it harder to concentrate, yeah. I really hope the doctor can help me do something about it, because it's driving me totally mad. Okay, yes, so it should be right above this grid line, not against that one there. It's to the side. Okay. Yeah, so then I was going, wait, did I pick up the wrong thread? Did I park this incorrectly? And then realized, no, it was. The stitch I just done was not in the place it was supposed to be. That was how I messed up. Nine, 3, 2, 930 and 931 out, but not this one, because yeah, there's not as much this color here. All right, let's see how long it takes to hit 100 stitches here. So yeah, you can see my grid line's not perfectly on where it should be, but it's close. Just have to make sure I pay attention here. Okay, 794. 14. Mark that. Okay. Okay. Making sure I pay attention to my grid lines this time, so I don't do that again. Oh my goodness. Okay, gonna unthread that for a bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There, because yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit, might be a bit till I get to that color. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Ends were trying to come through there, so first pin stitch. I don't know. Just didn't look as secure, so I'm going to do a third one just to make sure it holds. Yeah. Last thing I want is threads popping free. I'd rather do an extra pin stitch. I'll be sure it doesn't do that. So sometimes I just pick the color that I know there's only one stitch left of it, and then I can tie that thread off. I could have chosen another color, but yeah, that is why I chose to do that one, because I knew it was the last one of this color in this area. Come on. Yeah, you would think I wouldn't accidentally put the purple up there, considering there's no other purples nearby, but ugh. Don't underestimate my ability to make boneheaded moves. Okay, 90 stitches. Closing in on that 100, but yeah, like I said, this area has really slowed me down. It's almost no area of doing more than one stitch at a time, just because of the way they're all scattered together. Okay, so this is a longer one. If it was a shorter piece, I would probably do these stitches and park it down here for that single one. But it's a long piece, so I'm going to carry it back up towards the right. I'll use a short leftover piece when I get to that one stitch there. So yeah, the length of the thread I have attached is often the biggest factor in my deciding where I'm going to park it. And that one. Park it there. Picked up that thread and it was blue, so I knew that was the wrong one. This one's a grayish green. Okay. Oh dear. Oh, pardon me. So I think it's going to be a bit till I work my way over to these colors here. So I'm just going to separate those strands, and then less likely to have tangles if I keep them apart from the ones that I'm currently working with. That way I can keep them threaded so it'll be easier when I do need to use them again. At least, oops, nope, almost had that in the wrong spot, at least in theory anyway. Just realized this stitch looks a little wonky. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. It came up a little funny. Still fixable. That leg was just a little bit longer than it should have been. Fortunately, I had not stitched through it yet, so it's still fixable. That's better. Again, probably something nobody would have noticed but me, but oh well. There, now it's time to use this blue one. Lots of purples here, so yeah, gotta pay attention and not pick up the wrong one. Okay, we finally passed the 100. Woohoo! Yeah, that took a while. But the detail is worth it in the end. Oh, and I parked that one wrong. Yeah. Okay, so that goes there. Yeah. Yeah, I parked this over one square from where it should have been. realized when I went to park this other thread that it was not correct. Because, yeah, they shouldn't be in a row, one right above the other. They should be offset by a stitch, so something was wrong. Trying to avoid having to actually cut any more threads. Done that quite enough already today. Okay, 3608. within the inch, so I will carry it over here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just gonna do a single pin stitch here to just tack this securely so it doesn't get pulled, because yeah, when you have a longer carry, it's easier to accidentally pull it loose on the back while you're stitching without realizing it. Okay. It's a bright color, so I'm gonna draw it along the back. Sure, it won't show through. If I could get the whole thing to go back in the envelope, that'd be great. So I normally don't leave one that short threaded, but I know I'm leaving it just till I do these stitches, and then I'll do it. So and it's within an inch, so I'm going to carry it. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't think this one's threaded, is it? No, so I'm not going to bother. It's kind of borderline. All right, so took me a while to work my way back to these threads, but we did get there in the end. So yeah, sometimes I end up with kind of like a triangle shape, and then I fill in around it. Okay, so I'm going to split this up again so that I don't go out of order. See, is this one threaded? No. Okay, so I'm gonna cut things off right there, unthread this one, fill in a little bit more, and then we're gonna go back down the diagonal again and work my way out. Oh, pardon me. I think I'm going to cross as I go this time so that my thread ends up the opposite side. Yeah, and then I can park it up here because I like to sort of work from the outside in when I can. Just feels more natural to me. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, so can really get slowed down by the single stitches, but that's one thing I like about with parking. When I get to the bottom of a section of confetti, it is all done. There are no missing stitches. Yeah, I mean, any way you stitch, eventually you're going to have to do those single stitches, which, you know, takes longer to get your thread and everything than to actually make the stitch, but yeah. This way I'm less likely to miss them. Okay, so it's very uneven. Ooh, pardon me. Yeah, I'm thinking that ear infection didn't entirely get knocked out because, yeah, I was so exhausted. I actually took a nap yesterday, which I never do. And I was able to sleep at night. I can only do that when I'm sick, so... Ugh. Okay, just gonna check this other one that I've parked. Okay, see how long it is. Okay, if it was really short, I would have parked this one there to use in that section, but it's longer, so I'm gonna park this one over here instead. Oh, goodness. Having trouble lining up my strands for the loop start here. Ugh. Shall we stitch to 200? Yeah, why not? 200 of confetti, that'll make me quite happy. Okay, let's see what color we want to do next. my gosh. There we go. Okay, so break this color up a bit to keep from closing anything in and not have to add another strand. So do these two, and then that one in the corner here. Without tying a knot, preferably. Then park it. Okay, might as well do this color and then I can, yeah, tie this off and have one less thread to deal with. Okay, so it's 190, so 10 more to reach 200. 3609. Just make sure I put this back in the right place. Yeah, it's actually cool enough today. The heat just kicked on. Using AC yesterday, our weather likes to jump around all over the place. Okay. Just did not want to cooperate, so at least it didn't tangle, so it's all good. See, that blue end is gonna keep causing me trouble there. Okay. All right, 820. Whew. Pardon me. Oh my. $199, so we'll do one more to take us to an even 200. Woohoo! One, two, three. Okay, nice even 200. Yeah, gonna stop there, take a break, stretch. But anyway, yeah, as usual, thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here again another time. Right, thanks everyone. Bye.